Make the bad man stop.
All right, everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk entertainment. It's Friday. It's Friday night. Just got paid. Oh, we got a lot to talk about. We got the Giants bringing in, rounding out the coaching staff. I want to talk about Kyle Hamilton. I keep seeing now the giraffe pronosticators and a lot of other fans and people have Kyle Hamilton going to the Giants within the top 10. I am not saying, and I'm going to preface this right now for all the people like, you hate Kyle Hamilton. You hate him. No, I think Kyle Hamilton will be a fantastic pro. Think he'll be a Pro Bowler. There might be some all-pro material ready to come out. But you can't take a safety in the top 10. Positional value, which is what we've talked about now for weeks, which the Shane has now been pontificating about, does not allow you in some regards to take a player in the safety position in the top 10. There's not a positional value for it. And there is a precedent going back. I only went back to 2010, but from 2010 to 2021, there was only one safety that has been taken in the top 10. That's Jamal Adams, who went to the Jets. Mika Fitzpatrick, for all intents and purposes, was taken at 11, who went over to Miami. Then, of course, was traded over to Pittsburgh. So there's a precedent. There is. You can take a corner in the top 10, but you don't take a safety. The positional value was just not there. Now, I know some people are like, well, Kyle Hamilton is like a unicorn. Christoph Porzingis was a unicorn. Kyle Pitts, the unicorn of all tight ends, the greatest tight end that will ever be in the history of the NFL. Okay. Kyle Pitts found it a little bit more difficult to find the end zone in the pros than he did when he was at Florida. Had one touchdown. He had 1,000 yards, of course, in 17 games, but there wasn't a lot of receiving options for the Atlanta Falcons. So he was going to be the primary target. He only had a catch percentage of 61%, 61.9. For the unicorn to come in, you would think he would have a higher catch percentage. Rob Gronkowski, who was a second-round pick, his first 2 years in the league, because the first 2 years in the league usually is when you take the league by storm, his catch percentage was over 70%. So for a unicorn to come in and revolutionize the tight end position, he didn't do it. Good tight end. Needs to work on his blocking skills. Receiving skills, he's not going to get the mismatches that he got in college because you're not playing Sister Mary of the Poor 1 week. You're going to go up against top flight talent in the NFL. Now, I am not saying again that Kyle Hamilton is not going to be a top flight talent. I am not 100% saying that. He's a guy who has good instincts. Really does have good instincts in reference to being on the field. But he's also very inconsistent with those instincts. He's got great feet. He's got quick feet. But he's at times he's not as quick or as active to pick up on plays, especially when he's in zone. His man coverage, though, I will give it to him. He is a corner playing safety. He is 100%. But he's not going to be a zone guy. He'll have some issues in reference to reading the run. His range to me is he's a side like where Parsons last year. I said he's a sideline to sideline guy, and this is what that's what Hamilton is. He's a sideline to sideline guy, especially a guy that's 6'4", 220 pounds. So I mean, you got to look at that around that. And I've said before, his coverage skills, when you got him in man to man, he's going to stick to that guy like glue. He's got great, I always love it because that's what all scouts always say. He's got great hip fluidity. His hips flow, especially when he's in man-to-man coverage, and he can change directions well. It's not going to be a mismatch with him covering the tight end. It's not going to be a mismatch with him recovering a running back coming out of the backfield. And some wide receivers as well, it's not going to be a mismatch. But like I said, if you want to look at his zone coverage, and hopefully we're not going to play a lot of this zone crap. I'm hoping we're staying away from that. That's where another place he's going to have a little bit of an issue. He gets out of position. If you want to use the word undisciplined in his zone coverage, that probably wouldn't be wrong. His range allows him to make up for his mistakes in zone coverage, which is fine. And he'll show flashes. Flash. Oh. But like I said, his range will allow him, his speed will allow him to make up his issues in zone coverage. He really will. Now, one problem and it's not a problem, but one thing you need to look at, and one thing he is going to have a problem with, and that's why he'll have to be more of a free safety instead of strong safety, is his run support, his tackling. He is a guy that has the physical traits to be, in my mind, a destroyer when it comes to tackling. But I'm going to tell you something about tackling, and this is coming from a defense player. And I was never anywhere near the talent capacity of a Kyle Hamilton. But I will tell you this: a lot of tackling is technique. He's got long arms. I have long arms. I have long arms and big hands. And the first thing you are taught with those long arms and big hands is you wrap up and you hold on. You wrap around the ball carrier and you lock and you hold on, and then you drive with your legs. Now, his biggest problem is he takes a lot of poor angles in run support. And when you take poor angles, it leads to bad positioning, not only with your body, but on the field as well. He can he can do a better job run supporting. He can. He has to. He has to, or he is going to be in that free safety position, and you're not going to want to play him in the box. Because right now what we need is a guy in the box. We need an in the box / safety linebacker, and that's going to be. And I don't want Xavier McKinney to fill that role. I want to see Xavier McKinney Roman, because I think that's what Xavier is going to do best. He is a guy that he is a guy that people are going to compare to Jamal Adams, but you're going to have to find the right role for him. He is going to be, like I said, he is not going to be mismatched going against bigger tight ends. He's not going to, he's not going to get mismatched at all whatsoever. But like I said, you just don't take a safety this high. You take a defensive lineman this high. You take an offensive tackle this high. You take a quarterback this high. Hell, you could take a wide receiver in the top 10 if he's going to be what they refer to as a game changer. Now, we have to get a full measurement and reference to his 40 time, because right now, I would not be shocked if he ran a 4.5 or a little bit worse. Now, I'm saying there's a difference. Now, I've said this a million times. There is a difference between straight line speed and game speed. Jerry Rice, when he came out of the draft, he said he was slow. He was a slow guy. He wasn't going to be able to, he was a slow guy with bad hands. I remember when Jerry Rice came out, and he wasn't going to be able to get separation. Yeah. He may not have had the straight line speed when you're running the 40, but you put Jerry Rice on the field, no one ever caught him until the end of his career. I think as a rookie, Kyle is going to start. I do. Some people are going to say, well, why don't you convert him more into a linebacker role? And my problem is I don't want to put him in that linebacker role because of the fact that I think he could be a defensive weapon if he's in the defensive backfield. Because like I said, his tackling to me is going to be an issue. I think he might have some problems in the open field making tackles. And I think and like I said, I don't think there will. I think with this kid, you will never not have a willingness to learn something. And I think he can learn how to be a better tackler. But I like I said, I don't want him in that linebacker position. I don't want him in the quasi safety linebacker position. I'd rather have him in the free safety position. But if you're going to do that, then you are going to then have to take Xavier McKinney and move him into the box into a strong safety position where that would have been better for Peppers. Peppers doesn't have the coverage ability as Xavier McKinney does. And like I said, he could fill more of the quasi role for the Giants in that quasi strong safety linebacker position. Like I said, and if the Giants trade out of the top 10 and grab Kyle Hamilton, if he's still available around like 12 or 13, maybe like an Isaiah Simmons type thing, I have no problem with that, but I cannot take this kid in the top 10. Sorry, I can't. Positional value. Will the free safety position be a game changer for the Giants? And I think that's what you either need pass protection, a franchise quarterback, or a stud defensive lineman that will be a game changer. I'm not saying Kyle Hamilton won't be the unicorn. Just look at Kyle Pitts. But I am saying that he is not a positional value at safety for the Giants in the top 10. Giants have been rounding out the coaching staff. Mike Groh has come over. Of course, Mike's father, Al. He was a Jets coach for a season, then went on to coach. I think he went on to coach Virginia. Groh had been with the Indianapolis Colts as the wide receivers coach the last 2 seasons under Frank Reich. He was the offensive coordinator for Philly, for the Eagles in 18 and 19. He got, of course, fired with Doug Peterson. I think that's actually I think that's going to be a pretty good hire. The coach from Vanderbilt's the one I want to see. He spent 4 seasons in the NFL from 17 to 20 as a defensive quality control coach. And then he got kind of promoted to assistant linebacker coach, but he worked alongside Dable. Defensive quality control coaches, you just watch film. That's what I did. I was not a, they didn't call it a quality control coach back then. I forgot what they called it back then, but I was just a guy I was a glorified film watcher. So I think he is going to be interesting. He's also worked under Wink for 2 years, 15 and 16, as a member of the Baltimore Ravens staff. He served as a defensive assistant. So I'll be curious to see how he's going to come into the pros. And Phil, I think it's interesting that he actually, we got the music coming rolling in way too early. He actually left the pros. That's why I find him an interesting guy. He left the pros to take a job coaching high school because his son was was a freshman coming in. So I think that's kind of, I think that's kind of an interesting story. We'll have to see how he pans out with that. I think that will be, that'll be a good move by, I can't tell you it's going to be a good move or a bad move yet for the Giants, because I think it's funny because everyone's like, all these guys coming in are so awesome. We don't know. We don't know if they're going to be awesome. We don't know if they're going to suck, especially these guys that are coming in from college. Andre Patterson, he's another guy the Giants picked up, defensive line coach. 61-year-old. He bounced around the league quite a bit. 88 was his first stop in the NFL with the Pats. He was, people were going to tell you that he was a key member of the Zimmerman staff. He had an 8-year run. He was there for his entire 8-year run with the Vikings. And the Vikings had a good defensive line, but you also remember they had, what's his name? Hunter and, what's his name? Everson Griffin? Yeah, I can't remember his name. You know, it's nice when you have 2 top 10 or top tier pass rushers. So that'll be interesting. And I find it very, very interesting that the Vikings primarily ran a 4-3 defense, and Wink is known for his 3-4. So I think that'll be interesting. He's a guy that, like I said, he's a guy that's been around the league for a while. Giants also are bringing in Tony Soprano Jr. or what? Yeah, I think it's Soprano. I can't remember his name. He's the son of Tony, who was the head coach from the Dolphins from 2008 to 2011. So, like I said, so they're rounding out the staff. I still think we need to come up with a running back coach. But like I said, you're bringing in some guys. You're bringing in some quality guys. You're bringing in some guys that, and I said it before, one of the things I hate about the Joe Judge staff was everyone seemed to be a failed college head coach. You're bringing in guys that have positional experience. And they have, and I think that's better that I like guys that have been in the same or similar positions for most of their career, because that's what they show. That's what they're good at doing. And if they go to multiple teams at the same type of position, it shows that teams in the league value them. So I think the Giants have really started coming up with a good staff. I think it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I think, like I said, you're bringing in a lot of guys with good positional experience, and that's what this team needs because of the fact that we're going to have so many young guys. You need someone to coach these guys up. What's better to have than guys that have been in the league 18, 20 years in the same, basically towards the same positions as a defensive line coach or a linebacker coach or something like that. So it'll be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. We got a big stream coming up on Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be having the first part of the stream live from Poppycockers. People have asked me, will I do a Friday stream tonight? I don't know. Some people like the Friday streams. I'll see. I'll think about it. If I do it, I'll probably put up around 4 o'clock. We'll probably have it in like 8 or 9. So we'll have to wait and see. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you like, subscribe, ring that bell notification.